All right. We are Team Walmart, and this is our target case analysis presentation.
I'm Will Macurda.
I'm Joshua Trent.
I'm Thomas Tillery.
I'm Celeste Ramseur.
For our executive summary, Tom's for Target first began their campaign back in 2014. They partnered together to not only sell product and increase revenue, but also to help people in need with a one-for-one strategy where for each product purchase, they will sell or donate one pair of shoes to somebody in need. Though this partnership has already happened before, we feel like they can improve on this partnership through the use of dynamic pricing, bringing on third-party logistics, and use of individual stores as fulfillment centers. We also feel with the use of specific store data, Target will be able to see exactly what stores are selling which product and the volume at which they are selling that in order to better focus on the stores and the needs that they will have. We also feel that both parties will need to keep constant communication in order to focus on any type of production or issues of that nature. We also feel that as this partnership gains more traction and increases in popularity, that there'll be a greater strain on the logistics side of the partnership and demand. We feel that a third-party logistics system would be a great asset to have because of this and will help keep strain down on the two companies, as well as be able to hold larger quantities of inventory and allow for more sustainable transportation. This will both increase profits and donations, as well as continuing that one-for-one model and helping people in need.
Some of the key solutions that we decided on towards this partnership was that Target should employ dynamic pricing throughout the partnership. They should bring on a 3PL to assist with some of the strategy needs that were mentioned previously. We're going to use Tom's customer demographic to advertise to current Target guests. And the use of additional commercials, web ads, et cetera, to advertise and promote the partnership will be very beneficial. Finally, the primary market is going to be the West Coast for this partnership. It's going to focus on kind of retail and marketing in that area. The use of mini warehouses behind larger Target stores to hold inventory and quickly fulfill orders will also be key.
All right, and we do have a couple recommendations for this design partnership. We recommend that, like, for concerning our partner's information system and forecasting, that we could actually utilize Tom's demographic information to decide which stores receive certain styles and which stores receive a certain amount of Toms to sell. Another recommendation is that we recommend Target leaders hold meetings and send out information accordingly based on their shipment sizes and needs. And we can do this by formatting a database and calendar for our product. We can definitely do this by keeping communication steady between both Toms and Target. And also just by coordinating shipment throughout the partnership with each other and have both of those supply chain team members working on the same topic at the same time. We also recommend that Target and Tom's combine a section of their supply chain dedicated to this partnership. We feel that this will help with communication and getting stuff done the way that it should be. And also we agree that adding a third-party logistics company would be very helpful for this partnership. It'll help us allocate inventory in different locations, which will allow us to have more on hand for customers and will lessen the risk for a stock out. It will also allow us to ship our product in a more sustainable way that would end up saving Target money in the long run. And the last recommendation is that we want to increase promotional times in order to increase sales and donations. And that just means by incorporating a larger time span where promotions and coupons are being offered to our customers.
So some key facts we decided to share is that first, the distinguishing factor that sets this partnership apart is Tom's commitment to giving back based on their business model. Second, Target's key core values of great design that's accessible to everyone and a commitment to giving back aligns very nicely with Tom's. It's a one-for-one giving model, which is very nice. Third, because our product is shoes, they're not built that are not built for winter weather. We believe that if we put in an order that is larger than usual, we can compensate for, annual predicted spikes in demand, such as like holidays or, the summertime. Fourth, Tom's supply chain system is already extremely expansive with their automated receiving and processing systems, as well as is Target's supply chain system. So I don't think they're both very experienced companies, so they shouldn't have a hard time kind of working together to figure this out.
For the budget and timeline, we feel that Target should allocate about 3 to 4 weeks for a contract agreement. But we also feel that the most important part of their process is the research and product development and how their distribution system is going to work, and that'll be able to increase their profitability. With proper planning, the rest of the promotion and campaign can go smoothly. We feel that Target should allocate around $1 million into researching this and understanding the best way for their distribution system to work. Target should have about $100 million in advertising go towards this campaign, as in 2019, the entire company had $1.62 billion worth of advertising. So we feel that this is a acceptable number for their campaign. We also feel that with this marketing campaign that we'll have to increase screen time and advertising on the West Coast, as that is where Target's main distribution center is. And then we also feel that there needs to be a donation limit set for each party, as if this campaign increases in popularity and could possibly get too out of hand, then revenue and things of that nature will decrease.
For the strategy and competitive advantage for this partnership, we analyzed a couple key aspects. The first is that by using strategic sourcing, we're going to keep shipping costs as efficient and cheap as possible for Target. Secondly, for every pair of Toms for Target shoes sold, a pair of shoes will go to a child in need. And for every apparel item in the lineup, a blanket from the American Red Cross will be donated to someone in need. This is directly from the previous partnership that Toms for Target had. This particular aspect sets Target apart because it broadens the scope to involve global civic engagement and corporate social responsibility for Target and Toms by helping those in need. We really believe that this particular aspect is going to help set Target apart. Better use of our brick and mortar stores is going to help us stay competitive in the partnership. It's going to help the product be distributed as fast and flexibly as possible. And lastly, by centralizing the inventory and distribution centers nationwide, Target's going to be able to stay competitive in the partnership.
So for information and technology, so Target currently uses data analytics to see what their customers are buying currently, and they send out promotions and track buying behavior. So this could aid the partnership by allowing Target to push sales and increase the market for their partnership. By sending out information to Target customers, more people would be knowledgeable of the collaboration concerning, concerning their information and forecasting systems. They can utilize Tom's demographic information as well to kind of decide which stores would receive certain amounts of Toms, how much demand would be in certain areas, depending on Tom's information. Let's see. So how should Target share information with the design partners and third parties? Target can have their leaders of this project hold meetings and send that information accordingly based on the shipment sizes and needs. They can format a database and calendar for the sole purpose of keeping communication steady and coordinating shipment throughout the partnership. They currently use a Target online partners website to communicate to their partners, so it shouldn't be too difficult for them to do the same thing with Toms. With that being said, supply chain-wise, I propose that Target and Toms operate out of a collaborative planning, forecasting, and replenishment system so they can keep in contact, and no company is in charge more than the other. They just work together to manage their inventory.
All right, facilities and inventory. So Tom's is based out of Los Angeles, but their manufacturing is done in China and Vietnam. But we still want to serve our primary market, with Los Angeles as our center, and we want to center that mostly on the western coast, Washington down to Arizona. And the reason that we do this is because there are two huge distribution centers that are within an hour of the Tom's location in Los Angeles. So we would be able to mainly distribute out of those distribution centers to other distribution centers throughout the country. And going off that, we will also use the brick and mortar stores that we already have that are being used as online fulfillment centers to push our product even more and assure that it will be delivered in a fast and flexible manner. Another part is that we plan to keep inventory costs low for our partnership by reducing our lead time. And we can do this by finding a reliable and consistent way that will allow us to reduce this lead time. And this will lead to us having to carry less safety stock in our stores throughout the country, which will help us centralize inventory mostly in these distribution centers. And also, like Celeste said, we will plan for expected spikes in demand like the holidays and the seasonal switch. And through strategic sourcing, we will be able to understand when we should start building up more demand in our stores for allocating these spikes in demands. All right, for sourcing, one of the main activities we were asked to see what Tom's should be in charge of sourcing-wise and which Target should be in charge of sourcing-wise. And since Tom's is already manufactured in China and Vietnam, then we are going to allow them to handle the international shipping of the product over to Los Angeles, which at that point, Target will then take over a majority of the product by picking it up from the Tom's plant in Los Angeles and then distributing it to the main two distribution centers in California. And then from there, that product will be distributed throughout the country. And another way to help with some of the supply chain problems in sourcing is for reverse logistics for products that are out of demand, out of style, and possibly damaged or tampered with. We'll hire a reverse logistics vendor who will personally come and they will pick up these products that are out of dated, out of demand, like I said, and they will handle the aspect of donating these products and or recycling these products so they can be reused again. And also, as well as adding a reverse logistics vendor, we're also going to add a third-party logistics vendor. And this, in the long run, will help save us money and will put less stress on our supply chain team throughout the year, especially during these times of spikes in demand. And it will also allow for flexibility and scalability between Tom's and Target.
All right, so for transportation logistics, as Thomas had stated earlier, that Tom's operates predominantly out of LA, and the shipments would most likely be sent to either or the two facilities located in California. So Target has a setup of constellation points to where larger shipments can be merged and it can save on shipping costs and distribution costs. From there, it moves on to one of the 28 regional distribution points for sorting and store shipment, so that our stores would have it. In terms of in-store sales or digital sales, as of last year, Target's online sales were composed of about Target's online sales were composed of about 8.8% of their total sales. In-store sales were up to 84.3%, and then curbside pickup, including the digital sales, totaled to about 15.7%. So I suggest that Target allocate most of their product to in-store sales and curbside pickup, depending on season and demand. So to keep processing and shipping costs low, we're going to merge shipments and make sure that they're coming in a time where there's high demand, so we're minimizing our costs. And the degree of reliance upon Target's transportation capabilities, it just depends on the load size and season and how they want to work together.
Great. So for pricing for the partnership, we're going to recommend that Target keep products relatively inexpensive, but offer a wide variety of options for Tom's for Target. The pricing will be aimed to appeal to the general characteristics and buying preferences of current target guests. The partnership will aim to complement the existing target lineup in terms of pricing and cost in this way. Pricing will remain constant throughout the course of the partnership up to the holidays, where ever-increasing deals and savings will be employed to help boost sales and remove inventory from stores as the year end gets closer. Overall, dynamic pricing flexibility will be important in maintaining a profitable business operations throughout the supply chain of the design partnership. This will help maintain a balance between the pricing of Target's existing inventory and Tom's shoe line to keep us competitive throughout the partnership. A follow-up question to the strategy and competitive advantage slides is, why should Target partner again with Tom's? Target and Tom's have previously gone into this partnership with Tom's for Target. And the real question is, why should they do it again? So we found a couple key aspects as to why Target should go into this partnership again, and then also what's going to make it different. So previously, the partnership brought great benefits of brand recognition for Target and Tom's, while benefiting those in need. It was a great marketing ploy for both companies, and so we think that's a great reason for Target to go into business again with Tom's. Tom's as a company was struggling since 2019, and their brand saw great expansion during Target's partnership with them. In this way, Target has an opportunity to, come alongside a company that does a lot for the world, and that's a great look for Target on a public stage. The new partnership will be different though than previously due to a couple changes in the sourcing, facilities management, supply chain logistics, and pricing strategy. The goal is to improve the revenues using these metrics from the previous partnership and to create a more streamlined partnership with Tom's for Target for Target's financial benefit. Lastly, we think it's really important that Tom's and Target continue the one-for-one strategy used in the previous partnership, as this helps to align the non-financial competitive goals that both Tom's and Target share and addresses issues of corporate social responsibility for both companies.
All right, and these are some limitations that we didn't have time to get to, but these would have been very beneficial if we could have maybe studied them a little bit more and had a little bit extra time. But the main thing was the actual pricing data and just the relevant financial performance information from the partnership. The information was not public, and therefore we couldn't set new goals that were higher than the ones that were from the previous partnership. And also we weren't able to assess the financial health of the partnership using real data. We can only just pull our stuff from customer reports and the Target corporate information in previous marketing and listings. Another limitation was the specific budget information and past partnership revenue. There was no public information on how exactly the company uses its advertising expenses, limitation processes, and its previous partnerships, etc. All right, that's it for the Target presentation. We hope you enjoyed it. And again, this is Team Walmart. Thanks very much.